So what we're going to look at today is developing a main character. In the last video, we did some brainstorming, and I just came up with an idea for a character. I had the idea of having a young knight, having him be a squire, before he's even a knight, and the only two characteristics I came up with was that he was going to be inexperienced and brave. So now I actually want to create more of this character, have a full character that I can use in a story, and I can just describe him and say what he would do or what he likes without thought, because I already have it planned. So I know he's a young squire. The first thing I want to think of is his physical features. When I'm going to see him, describe him, or draw him in a story, what am I going to see? Some of these things aren't going to be crucial to changing your story. They're just to at least have a character that you can describe so that your reader can understand what's going on. So the first thing I would say, I'm going to make him tall. For a young knight, I think it's nice when they have some height, helps them get by, but I don't want him to be a large, physical, strong man, so I'm going to make him lanky. Now you notice, I'm not writing in sentences, I'm not trying to create great descriptive words, I just want words that will describe him, words that I can use to then say, hey, this is what he looks like. So I'm going to give him brown hair and eyes. And thinking about my story, I like the idea of having a bit more of a fantastical story. So instead of just having him be a human squire, I'm going to make him an elf. This is a type of elf from high fantasy, like you would see in Lord of the Rings, not a Christmas elf. So I'll just say high elf. To clarify that. He's 17 years old. This kind of goes with how he would look. It's his age, his physical age. And when we see him, we're going to see him wearing clothes, as he will for nearly all characters. So I'm thinking regulation military clothes. Because he's a squire, he'll be told what he has to wear. From there we moved on to some stuff that's a little bit more important to the story. It's the character's personality. You want to make a character that's going to be interesting, that's going to be real, and that's going to be able to, some people will be able to kind of understand or relate to. But here again, we just need personality traits, and you want a good mix of them. So for me, I love to have a character that questions, that wants to know why. And so he will question everything. As kind of a counter component to that, I think of someone questioning everything, and I could see a lot of people getting annoyed with that. So my character will have the good trait of questioning everything, and yet he will have the bad trait of being annoying. Along with that, when I was doing my brainstorming, I already said he would be brave. He's not afraid to do things. But then I'm also going to have a counterpoint to that. He will be foolhardy, which just means that he will be recklessly brave. So he will do dangerous things, sometimes just for the sake of doing something dangerous, and without thinking through it first. The young knight, I think he's going to be just a little bit serious. He won't be a funny guy. He'll take things seriously. He'll take life seriously. And then just to give him a bit of a quirk, something that'll make him different, I'm going to have him be fascinated by words and their meanings. This puts a little bit of myself into it. I like words, and it just allows you to look at it and kind of have this character that you're like, wow, that's strange, that's interesting, that's maybe a little bit different. And then we move on to likes or dislikes. When you want your character doing something, there's certain things that they will like, there's certain things they will dislike. I'll start off with just a few likes. He likes dictionaries. He likes words and their meanings. He's going to like dictionaries. As this is a bit more of a medieval setting, dictionaries may be something that are rare. From there, I'm going to move on to some foods, just so that if I have him eating, I'll be able to say whether he is liking or disliking the foods he's eating. I'm going to have him like porridge, vegetables, and chicken. These were just randomly selected foods. You can pick them however you want, go with your likes, with your dislikes, whatever you would want. And I will have some dislikes as well for the character. So for the dislikes, I'm just going to kind of have some alternate foods. He's going to dislike beef. Have him like chicken, he'll dislike beef. Dislikes fruit. See, he's a little bit different again with liking vegetables, not liking fruit, but at the same time, he likes chicken. A lot of people like chicken, beef. They're random ideas. Few activities. If you can have activities that he dislikes, you can have him be frustrated by something. Peeling potatoes seems like a good military punishment, so I'd have that be something he dislikes. And I think for some strange reason, I'm going to have him dislike puns. Although he likes proper words, he's going to dislike the mutilation of them, which is puns. And then for another dislike, thinking through where I came up with for my story problem, I'm going to have a dislike be dragons. He's just really going to dislike dragons and having to deal with them. For my character, you want to kind of create who they are behind the scenes, things that are going to be either briefly mentioned or just to kind of create who he is. You make a family, you can think, how does this influence his life? So for my character, I'm going to have him have a large family. He'll have 13 siblings. With a balanced family. So he'll have 6 sisters, 6 brothers. His oldest 2 brothers are going to be in the military, which will allow him to probably see them at times, because he is also, of course, in military training. His sisters are all married, which will then, of course, give him 6 brother-in-laws. And I'll have him just be sent off at 4 to become a knight. So he will have limited connection with his family. He's been gone most of his life. He's 17. He was sent off at 4. He's been away from them for 13 years. And he is going to be the 3rd youngest in the family, with a sister and a brother younger than him. So that gives you kind of an interesting family dynamic. It's a large family. It will obviously influence who he is and what he is like. Beliefs or hobbies can be an interesting one. Obviously, he likes words. He likes dictionaries. His hobby is studying words. Making dictionaries. Now this is an interesting one. For some stories, the beliefs can be very important if part of the conflict comes based on what is believed. The elvish belief here in this story is these are elves. They'll believe that dragons are physical evil enemies, and that elves are the most important creatures. So they don't view dragons as equals, they view them as lesser, they're evil. The Elvish kingdom is the most important. For this, you could go into more detail. You could go into spiritual beliefs, which is often very important to a story. For this story, I'm just kind of sticking with some basics, have some hobbies, have some beliefs. This will, of course, be important information for your character. Why does he do what he does? And then at the end, to pick a name. Never put too much stock into the importance of names. I've read books with strange names and never thought of it. I think the name Roy works for me. And I'm just going to give him a really crazy long last name, as if that's something normal for elves. So, if you just kind of throw down some letters, come up with something long and different. And looking at this last name, I'm seeing that I have the name Sal and then an E at the end. I'll have a nickname for him, be Sally. Seems like it would give him something to be made fun of, which would again make him a little more of an outcast and give him a bit more of a unique character.